I believe it's our last wearable technology presentation of the day, and it's from a company called PipeDream Interactive. It's a new entertainment technology company based out of Kitchener, Ontario. The founders, Ryan Brooks, Robert Bruski, and Josh Brooks, that is PipeDream's CEO, CFO, and COO. They are going to demonstrate the patent-pending entertainment eyewear technology they call Invisivision. It's kind of hard to look at it on the paper. Invisivision. They're going to let you try out, some of you try out the Invisivision glasses. We've got a 3D TV set up to my left. And if you don't have a chance to try the glasses in the next 10 minutes, don't worry. They will be here after 4 o'clock when we break for the reception, and they'd love for you to have a chance to try the glasses now. All right. Carry it away.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are we doing? Okay. All right. This one's going to be a little bit, well, interactive in some way. I should actually thank Clint and Jerry. I haven't met them, but if I'd known what they were going to talk about, I would have paid them, because they kind of paved the way perfectly for what we're about to talk about. I am Ryan Brooks. I'm the CEO of PipeDream Interactive. I am also a substitute teacher, so I have a lot of free time. With that time, I decided to try my hand at writing a screenplay, because everyone is a writer, and I've studied physics and math, so it was not great. But out of this story came this tool which allowed the main character to see invisible objects. And I got to thinking, I wonder if we can do this effect live in a theater environment. And Invisivision was born. So what we do is, green, go, forwards. Okay. What we do is we provide a two-screen experience on a single screen. We give the audience control over what they're seeing. Stuff like revealing hidden content. We can give you two angles of the same action that's happening. We can provide captions to the deaf and hard of hearing only if they require it. So everyone in the audience doesn't have to have them if they don't want them. We can provide dual subtitles on the same screen. So for overseas markets, the ability to offer subtitles is now available in one showing. So if you look at the history of innovation in the film industry in particular, these are some of the milestones that we've identified where once they were established, there was a whole wave of content that followed that really defined that era. And so IMAX movies became really popular after IMAX technology was available. And it seems kind of obvious, but at the same token, there's been an acceleration in recent years. And audiences are consistently looking for new ways to engage with their content. So what we do is we provide, kind of like what RealD does, we use the 3D system in a new way. If you're not familiar with how 3D works, when you go to the movie theater and you have the glasses, if you take them off, you'll notice there are two images that are slightly offset, so it seems really blurry. And it's either from one projector or two. So I got thinking, what if we just used those two images and made them completely different? So allowing the glasses wearer, whoever's using it, to choose between the two images that are up there. And that's how we create those different effects I mentioned earlier. So this is all great if I'm telling you this is fantastic. However, what we really need up here is a panel of experts. So I've already selected you. If you look down, some of you will have a green piece of tape around the leg of your chair. You are probably close to an aisle. And if you have one, please come up and join me on stage. You are going to be my panel of experts. We have one. Yes, please come up, have a seat. Wonderful. Now, in order to use this, we have to use 3D projection. So we have a 3D TV up here. We also can do this in any live venue that can project 3D. So that's theaters, that's concert venues. And so what we're going to do, we've got one, we've got two. I want more people up here. Oh, I see there's an empty seat. It was reserved. I was like, someone's going to be here. OK. Who would like to come up and join our panel of experts? Yeah, come on up. OK. And one more? Yeah, sure. Come on up. Yeah, great. OK. So Rob and Josh here are going to get this demo going. Now, the reason why we positioned it this way is because instead of you getting to experience the actual Invisivision, I want you to experience someone experiencing the Invisivision experience. OK? So they're going to play that. You can feel free to pay attention to them while I'm still talking here. So the reason why we think this is really effective now is because there's been a recent trend in terms of choice. The infrastructure is already in place, so there's no new technology other than our eyewear required for the most part. The Arkells and Coldplay last month released a new music video, which if you watch online, you can change the outcome of the story while the music video is playing. Honda did it with the Honda R. So if you press the R key on your keyboard, you can change the live action element that's happening. We can do this in a live environment. So we've actually got a letter of intent from Landmark Cinemas, which is Canada's second largest. They said as soon as you have content, the CEO flew out from Calgary, saw our demo, signed the LOI. He's like, this is awesome. We want to use it for, especially for the deaf community, which I'll mention in a moment. We also went down for 2 weeks in LA. We managed to snag meetings with every major Hollywood studio simply by sneaking through LinkedIn and finding people that pretended to know. It was very effective to set up meetings, because that industry is very difficult to break into, I find, if you're not from it. And so we managed to get meetings with execs at all these studios, and we were met with a really positive reception. They said, how did we not think of this? Which is a very good sign for us, right? It's a very simple application, but you can do some really neat stuff with it. And then A-list advertisers. We met with Coca-Cola. We met with some ad agencies here in Toronto. And they're really interested for ways to engage audiences, because that's what this does. We actually showed it to 200 grade 8 students last month. And we had in groups of 10. And what we found was a very communal experience in terms of we didn't tell them what to do. We sat them down, showed them a 5-minute demo, and we filmed their reaction. And what we found was one of them would be searching, okay? So the method that you're using here is a bifocal version. You can tilt your head up and down, you can lift the glasses up and down. And what we found was 1 or 2 kids would be searching, and as soon as there was additional content available, they would do this. They'd lean next door, hey, are you seeing this? Are you seeing this? And it created an engagement that we hadn't seen without this effect. So these are some of the studios, like I said, that we met with. Paramount wants to use it for paranormal activity. Is there anyone here who is not fond of those horror-type genre films or shows? Okay, so I apologize again on behalf of the previous one with Walking Dead. But if you didn't want to see that gore, if you didn't want to see the bullet, well, you can have the safe view and the scary view. Okay? So you can now go and see and hide some of the stuff that maybe you didn't want to see. Okay? DreamWorks and Disney both said, look, this is fantastic. As soon as, again, you have, like, we want to make content, let's just get distribution. So this all comes down to finding people to help pilot this endeavor. Because we're the tech guys, we need creative content people. So there's a really neat intersection. Any of the blue areas here are where our eyewear can apply most effectively. As I mentioned, at live events like concerts, you could now do what Coldplay and Arkells did, but at a live venue. And our glasses are really inexpensive compared to other technology that would be required to do something like this. So some of the reasons why we are expecting to be able to do this fairly quickly are listed here. We have a patent pending, but we have Matt Cowan, which is really strange that he worked for RealD for 8 years. He was a chief scientific officer, and I worked with his daughter at University of Waterloo. He lives in Waterloo. He quit there and joined our board of advisors, and has been instrumental in making sure that everything we deliver is up to industry standard. We have Jill Cook. She did supply chain management for RealD. She left there, joined us. I guess RealD is not really popular with their staff. And then we have some fantastic lawyers as well. We also have some celebrity endorsements that are really finding the value in terms of like a director's cut, where you can now have additional scenes that you had to originally say, we don't have time for this. You can now show that alongside the one that you wanted to show. And then when we went with Universal Studios, they said, look, we wanted to do this. We went to the industry leader, RealD, and they said, we don't know how to do it. Which, again, was funny that I accidentally invented it. So this is the three of us. We just, a recent startup. We just celebrated our 1 year in operation. And we've made a lot of headway in terms of development if the supply chain is ready. But what we're looking for now is those content creators, right? We wanted the creative people who see we can do something different with this, right? Because it's really about how do you engage audiences in ways they haven't been engaged before. And that's what we are able to offer. So I haven't been looking over here, so I don't know what the reaction was like. But if you want to actually experience this for yourselves, we are going to have it set up, as she mentioned earlier, at the networking portion afterwards. So I think I have a minute here still. Are there any questions that you have at this time? See, that's the thing. It's so obvious. You just get it, right? Yes?
Can I ask some of the panelists what their reactions
Yeah, please. Would anyone like to describe what you're seeing or what you've seen?
I just saw a short video that the choices were reality or expectations.
So it's 500 Days of Summer, if you've seen the film. In the actual film, it's shown side by side. We allow you to choose which of those two you want to see. And we'll have that on display later as well. Anyone else want to share anything that they experienced?
Yeah, no, so it's interesting. When you take your glasses off, it's blurry. But when you look at it with your glasses down like this, you get one show. And then you have your glasses up like this, it's a different show. The whole scene, everything is completely different.
Yeah, exactly.
It's actually quite surprising that they can do it.
All right. See, I didn't even pay him. That's great. OK, so I think that's it for my time. Thank you very much for having us here today. We appreciate it. Thank you.